Hello, and welcome to another incredibly frustrating post-match review. I wonder if people will be screaming in my comments about how I have an agenda because I brought up some warning signs against Crystal Palace now. Probably not, but probably some people will. Oh well. I can only tell you go watch someone else's videos. I'm not stupid, and what I say is not about an agenda. It is what I actually look at and see. And I don't get stuck into patterns of I have to back the manager about everything or that I hate the manager. I just watch and see what I observe. And that was shit. And unfortunately, a lot of it seems to be, once again, the decisions from Ten Hag that have cost us in this game. I was actually quite positive on a lot of the aspects of the first half. Bear in mind, it was against a lower opposition team once again. We controlled possession well. I thought we were calmer. I thought we were more patient. I thought there was more of a focus on that. But after the first goal, we go into the dressing room and we come out, and it's like they're told to do something totally different. And that has to be on the manager. You go into halftime and you come out and you're bad, and you start going for the long ball constantly. You start losing it regularly. You stop pressing the way you were before. That's on the manager. Eriksen should not have been on when he conceded that. You could see his legs were going. It's great you're starting him, but this is why I have these warning signs against this having to start Bruno and Eriksen to get this out of it, because Eriksen can only give you so much time. That's his fourth start in a row. You can't need all of that in order to create a few chances in a game. You can't, because it leaves you exposed, and as the game gets more open or it stretches, those types of things happen. The goal conceded by Eriksen was just a horrible moment, but it comes from tiredness and lack of legs, and you lose that focus. And he was on for too long. At that point in time, we needed to make subs earlier. The sub Garnacho for Ahmad made some sense as a direct player coming in to play off of Xerxes, but then the next subs completely threw it all off. Rashford was our best player in attack, our threatening player, and one of the big reasons we were decent in the first half is him taking men on, beating them, and getting some crosses in that we just weren't getting on to the end of. You go back to the Garnacho Højlund thing, they become entirely ineffective. Bruno has to stay on for some reason, goes to the right, puts in another 0 out of 10 performance for me, and especially in the second half. I thought Kabi was really good when he came on in the second half in a more advanced area. Ugarte nearly found him on that pass. He nearly got in a couple of times, but it's just constant mistakes. And I was encouraged by the first half in what we were doing, but we weren't good at it. I figured, all right, that's fine. We'll get better at it as the game goes on, get into it more, but we don't. And with this good of players and this far in, it sucks. It's really not great. When you watch the first half, we started a little slow. We built up into momentum and kind of got the goal there and continued it. The second half, we were bad. Again, like we just couldn't do it. We were fading already. You see, before they scored, they had started to take more control. We started to lose the ball a lot. This was the time to make substitutions. Christian Eriksen's, again, only gets subbed off here 79 minutes in his fourth game in 9 days. He cannot. You could see him fading. And he was good in the first half. The goal, the passing, everything, he was good in the first half. But he stays on just way too long. And then he makes a big mistake. And you can't blame Ten Hag necessarily for the mistake, but you can for the way that you operate. Once again, 0.75 to 0.27 first half, 0.5 to 0.28 second half. We were much worse in the second half. You can see, even though we had more possession even in the second half, it just wasn't good. Overall, only 1.27 goals created, fewer big chances than they had. One big chance the whole game. I honestly don't know what to say anymore. The subs feel like they're planned out. before the game, and they have absolutely no reflection on the actual state of the game. I said on Saturday the subs were bad because it didn't seem like it reflected what was controlling the game and the understanding of it. I don't get it. We go into halftime, we come out. I'm not saying the first half was fantastic, okay? I thought it was okay. I thought how we were playing was good, but the performance was mediocre. And it was mostly Rashford taking people on, beating them, getting it to deep into the line, and creating chances, which he did. You know, he created multiple chances, got in there, 5 out of 6 ground duels won. You know, he was good. 0.43 expected assists. Again, Xerxes' link up I thought was very important. He nearly scored a couple of times. The balance with Ahmad is still a bit tricky. I don't know if it's working entirely. Ugarte was everywhere defensively. His passing got better into the game, especially towards the end. He made some good passes, 4 tackles, 2 interceptions, 2 clearances, 1 block shot. In possession, I thought he was mediocre, but defensively, unfortunately, right before Eriksen's thing, he saved us with a great tackle, and then Eriksen gave the ball away, unfortunately. Again, I thought Bruno was essentially useless the whole game. You know, great pass came here. This was from Ugarte, actually, and he just can't hit the target. The shot at the end really infuriated me. Didn't turn it over as much, but he just isn't good. And I don't understand him being kept on and pushed out to the right and taking Rashford off. Huge mistake. Rashford was our most threatening player and the player you keep on to get a goal. The balance when you make these subs of Garnacho and Højlund in the front doesn't work. Højlund is completely ineffective in these game states in this position. He is not a back-to-goal link-up player like Xerxes is. He's not really even a poacher. Completely ineffective. Xerxes, once again, now being clear here, we were already fading in the second half once again, but the subs, instead of improving the situation, I think did not help us. At 79 minutes, you know, they settled in at the end of the game for a draw, and so it appeared like we did a little bit better towards the end, but not really. We didn't really do anything with it. I mean, Højlund just, unfortunately, it's not his fault, had no impact on the game when he came on. Fuck, man, I honestly don't know what to say. This is the things I was worried about last week. I even was fairly positive on the first half, but my thinking process was we building into it. We're controlling the game well. We're controlling the space well. We're in the right positions. We're doing the right things. And then, I mean, what is this when you make the subs? Then you just lacked all ability to stretch the team out. You know, they were clogging the middle. So, of course, we make our subs to play right all down the middle. Brilliant, right? I don't know, man. You know, I thought in the first half we had more overlaps. Dalot making runs, Eriksen making runs. I talked in the pregame, I wanted our midfielders getting in the box to shoot, crashing it. That's how Eriksen got that. Dalot's in the box, Eriksen's in the box to get a kind of almost a scrappy goal, even though it was a good finish. So there were things I liked, but you have to take that and build on it. And much like Palace, it lasts one half. And then the other team starts to make adjustments, and we can't. Even against 20, we can't. We can't make adjustments. We cannot swing the momentum back in our favor. Don't be fooled. You know, when you look at these charts, someone will look at it and say, why are you talking about the end when United are controlling it? Because once the other team is settled in and they're playing for a draw, of course you have the attacking momentum. That's how it works. That's why we have more possession in the second half, too. They were settled in thinking, yeah, they made all these changes. They're not breaking us down with this team. They had the better opportunities in the second half, once again. And this is a bad team. My alarm bells are going off huge on this because there were things I liked in terms of control, things I liked in terms of managing it. But we could not keep it going. We didn't even go for a second goal. That's the sad part about it. I think we completely dropped off in the second half. We stopped doing what we were doing before. We started, again, going long, losing it, and it's just, it's frustrating. It's like, this far into, this far into Ten Hag's tenure, you cannot be able to only put 30 to 40 minutes in. You cannot. You cannot be able to get 30 to 40 minutes, and that's it, against teams like FC Twente. You just can't. I don't see how you can win games this way with that little ability to sustain and the inability to do so after all this time. The problem is, again, we still seem like we're caught in two minds as how we want to play football. I think it's too complex. I said in the pre-match, I want us to do the simple things, the basic attacking patterns over and over and over. And there's some time we did it. And I was actually happy with it. But then we just abandon it. And it's right after halftime too. We just abandon it. We start ceding control. We start giving them spaces. I don't understand. It's so baffling to me that I don't even know what to say about it anymore, As well, obviously not happy. A lot of people are really unsatisfied with their progress. And look, the reality is we have a very good team right now. We have a lot of really good players. We have a quality team in general, in my opinion. I think a very quality side. We have a lot of players healthy. We have the ability to rotate. We were able to bring Garnacho. Think about that. Garnacho, Mount, Kobbie Mainoo, Højlund, all off the bench today. And none of them had any impact on the game. Something's wrong with this. Our ability to put the pieces together is, to me, just extremely missing. And, I was positive on the first half, but unfortunately, when you can't sustain it and when you start doing different things right afterwards, it makes me think we just got lucky. That Rashford beating some men on the dribble in the first half meant we gained control rather than it being purposeful activity in a systematic way. And again, I think the subs at 79 minutes were clueless. I think they were clueless. I think that Eriksen needed to be off at 60 minutes. You could tell. You could see it. He was fading, getting deeper and deeper and deeper, and then mistakes like that come from exhaustion, tiredness. Now, he can't make that mistake either. It's just a bad mistake. But they start running through our midfield because it's so open, because he was out of position in the first place, which is what led to that. Then Ugarte has to come across and make a diving tackle, gets it to Eriksen, who loses it. Those things happen when your players are fading. And, but, that's the problem. He's found Eriksen to be an individual who scores and creates chances. So now that's what he's so reliant on. And that has been kind of Ten Hag's faults for a long time, is that he's reliant on these individuals doing something like that. But then you have to weigh that up against downsides. And the Bruno Fernandes issue is a huge one. I said after Palace that it could be very costly. It was very poor again today. Somehow, once again, doesn't get subbed off and survives. And wasteful. Wasteful is all I can say. There's no moments of magic to save the lack of a lot of the basics that would help us at this point in time. And certainly, Rashford coming off seems to me a big mistake, especially when he didn't start at the weekend. It's not like he can't play. Rashford's one of our most fit players. I don't want to hear that again, that like he had to or something. He did not have to. Kobbie Mainoo could have come on at 60 minutes and help us gain control of that game again, because we were already fading. It's not my job to figure out the answers, but you can see for yourself. Something is wrong, and the decisions seemingly don't help. It shouldn't be this hard. It should not be this hard against these kinds of teams. It really shouldn't. It shouldn't have been this hard against Palace. It shouldn't have been this hard in the first half against Southampton. These are not that tough of games to play for a team with this much quality in it. We spent another 250 million this summer, and this is the product we're getting at the end of it. I don't know what to say anymore. And if if you're happy with this, fair play to you, but don't tell anybody else they have an agenda because they have concerns about it. Those are my thoughts, and those are the thoughts of some of the people who were in the watch along as well. Share yours below. With Spurs at the weekend, Porto away, Aston Villa at home. Aston Villa at home or away? I don't know. It doesn't matter right now. Either way, huge games because, and the thing is we can't just scrape one-off results here and there. We've got to be able to do a lot better than this. And we're not seeing it. So we'll see where we're at. And I will see you in tomorrow's video. I'm going to do that one with Darnish on tactics and everything as well. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications on. See you in the next video.